Good evening and welcome to tonight's show from DJNTV, Disc Jockey News TV. Tonight's show is brought to you by Electra Voice, DJ Event Planner, DJ Trivia, Odyssey Innovative Designs and Cases, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and the DJNTV Insiders.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
And now you guys should be live.
KC,
Guys, I'm gonna.
Where's our intro?
Oh, okay.
My God, we've been off the air for 7 months. We don't. The guy forgot our. Do you know our names even?
Yeah. Wait a second. I've got to set this up right. I've got to get it so just the two of you on it. Okay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this one guy and Brian B.
Hey, that's the way. That's the way we like it.
That was terrible.
Way we like it right there.
That was terrible.
Terrible.
Tired.
Tired. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How's the summer? It's been 7 months. Can you believe it? We signed off like 7 months ago. It was right before Christmas.
Okay.
So,
that's a good little break. Good little break. Hopefully, we got some stuff to say. Hopefully
so. Hopefully people will be tuning in. It seems like all over the country today, everything's raining. You said it was raining by you. It rained by me. New Orleans is a hot mess. It's rain everywhere.
Yeah. How's your year been? We're halfway in.
It's busy, man. But I don't know how it would be any other way. So it's just, if it's not one thing, it's another. It's not, I went from bridal show season to production to, I don't know if we said this, but last year I bought a casual cart catering company. So we do like the New York style hot dog carts that you see on the street corners. So we've got these cool stainless steel hot dog carts with the big red and yellow umbrellas. And we do like popcorn and things like that. So the minute that May hit, everything exploded. We did all these year-end graduation events. We did all these pool party openings. We've been doing all these summer parties all summer. And for me, that's been a learning curve for me and my business partner, Daryl. And then just got done with the Marquee show. So I crashed into one thing on top of another thing on top of another thing. And then, I start right up. Right now, we're going to start hitting the schools again for back to school. And then immediately, we've got bridal shows again end of August. So it's just constantly going.
Solid. There's nothing
how about with you?
Yeah, I mean, that's been an incredible year. I've probably worked more than I have, especially in the early part of the year where usually I'm dead.
Yeah. Pull out the passport. How many stamps have you had this year?
That's a good question. I don't think that many, actually. Not much international, like maybe three or so. But I mean, it's still early. So I got a few more that I know I'm in. But domestically, it's been crazy. It's been really good, and a lot of different events too, not just weddings. It's been, across the board, corporate, social, bunch of different stuff. So it's been good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good deal. So we talked about making this kind of our catching up with Casey and Brian episode, and talking about what we've been doing and how it equates to everybody else. Is that fair, what we had talked about off the air?
Yeah. I think it's, I mean, we're I think adding to the conversation in the DJ world for sure with the different things we're doing. And I think it's been an interesting time this year more than ever. I feel like there's more learning opportunities for people, more ways for people to kind of grow their business. I mean, I've never seen it this magnitude before. Have you?
I don't know. You know, for me, it's like when you buy a certain vehicle and you never noticed how many of them there were on the road until you own that particular vehicle. And I think perhaps for you as well as for myself, now that we're both on the producing side of it, we're paying a lot more attention than it's in our peripheral vision when we were just attendees. So going back, I didn't go to Mobile Beat. You were at Mobile Beat though, yes?
I was there for a day. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of taking a break off of the speaking circuit right now and trying to, or at least from the show standpoint. And so I just went as a attendee for one day, and then I was helping Vibo, which I've been kind of one of their biggest advocates in the last year or so, at their booth. So I was at the booth. I was on the show floor more than I was in the seminars.
Gotcha. And we had our little Marquee Show Express event, which was a nice, small, little intimate event, but it was a great warm up for a lot of the presenters that presented for us last week. So there was that, and then. Let's see, that was March. Oh, did you go to Photo Booth Expo? Was Vibo there as well, or no?
I think he was. I didn't go to that one. No. But I heard it was well attended from what I was.
4,200 attendees.
Wow.
4,200. Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy that show is the biggest one in our industry. I mean, as far as photo booth DJs and things like that. I mean,
well, I think when I saw Robbie last week, he either told me his first year was 1,200 or 1,700, and then it's constantly grown and grown and grown. And that was 4,200 people in actual attendance, not people that signed up for a pass and didn't go and couldn't make it for one reason or another, which is huge. So kudos for him because he's doing a great job and he's constantly hustling. So there was that. Let's see. Then we went to April, end of April, beginning of May. I saw you at Midwest DJs Live. You popped in for a day. Popped in on the Vibo train, right?
Yeah, I was there for a day for that, and it was good. I mean,
they did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to have figured out their formula for them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like they've got a consistent, thing going on.
Right. My biggest criticism with them was the casino, and they're no longer in the casino. Next year they'll be the Hyatt Regency Milwaukee, so they'll be. I think it'll be better for them. I've produced bridal shows in that hotel. And so I think overall it's just going to be, people won't be spread out as much. People will all be together more. And it's a nice hotel with nice amenities. So I think that they'll be really pleased, and there'll be no disgusting food court any longer. So I think this is a definite step up for them.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even think about it till you said it, but they have one like kind of a breakfasty diner style thing in the front of that lobby of that casino.
Yeah, sure. It was terrible.
The service was terrible. I don't know about the food. I didn't even stick around because it took them so long. Yeah, and I remember that from the year before too, and it didn't get better. So
yeah, no, I had breakfast with Joe Bunn. He couldn't find anything on the menu he liked, so he ran out of the restaurant to like their version of Starbucks, got a yogurt, fruit cup, whatever, and a custom coffee, and made it back before we got our food. So,
and it wasn't like they're slammed.
No, it wasn't. They weren't busy at all. So, but yeah, so the guys from Midwest are doing a great job. And so if you're in the Midwest and you want to check it out, they've got their books open already for 2020. And so I speak to June all the time about it. So there'll definitely be a show worth attending in 2020. And then let's see, after Midwest DJs Live, would that be me?
We had the ARMS
Arm
tour.
DJs. Yeah, I wasn't there, but you went, didn't you?
I did. I did for another one for a day.
Okay.
They've been doing this. I don't know if this is something that they just this year decided to do, or if it's something they've done in the past, but I had never seen that they actually did a tour with their ARMS DJ, culminating with kind of their Tennessee wrap-up show.
Okay.
and this was a different space. They usually are in Greenville. I think it is Greenville, Tennessee.
Got it.
And this year they were in Gatlinburg.
Okay.
And, have you ever been to Gatlinburg?
No, I've not.
Wow. I don't even know. I'm just going to leave it at that. Wow.
You told me some of your travel issues. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just interesting.
Not the easiest place to get a cab.
No, but that's the thing about those kind of regional shows like that. It's one of those that's definitely a drive to, not something that people are flying in to go to.
Right.
And I learned that pretty quick. So, I mean, attendance wise, they did pretty well. I don't know what the number was, but Robbie, he puts a lot of heart and soul into those shows, and tries to make it as best he can for a ticket price that isn't way up there. I mean, he's done a really good job of figuring it out.
And next year's he's wrapping it up. That's it, done. End of story.
We'll see.
I talked to him yesterday, and he said this is it for sure. So
it's the Randy Bartlett syndrome. So we'll see.
Because
that was supposedly the way it was 2 years ago, and it's gone on since. So who knows?
I got
you sometimes, when people say that, I think they truly do mean it. I mean, I'm sure he meant it before, but there was just a lot of support for having it continue. And I think if it hadn't been for people wanting it to continue, you wouldn't have done it. And he's continued it for 2 more years. So we'll see how it ends. If it is, it's what a season. 12 years that's been going on.
Something like that'll still be the 12th year. Yeah. But here's I just saw Jerry Seinfeld interviewed, and they asked why he went out when he went out. And he said that he wanted to still go out with something in the tank so that it wasn't totally empty. Because when you've got something in the tank, it's easier to replenish it personally than to go out with totally shot, emotionally done.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And so hopefully Robbie's going out, because he wants to and everything else. And I know I told him that I was going because they're going to be roasting Hugo Drax, the president of the ADJA.
Wow.
And I told him that I would kill for a spot, that I'll be willing to drive down to Gatlinburg, to whatever it's 12 hours or whatever, just to roast Drax. So
yeah, that'll be good times. That'll be good.
so there was that, and then Ben, it's me, right?
Yeah, Marquee.
Right. So I'll give Marquee a B. It was a good show. We were underattended again, sadly. I had a lot of full pass holders that didn't make it out, and I had a lot of complimentary exhibit pass holders that didn't make it out. But my vendors sold a lot of product, which was good. So they all made money. I've gotten some amazing reviews from things. We went live today selling tickets, and we sold 6 tickets already today for 2020. So if you go to marqueeshow.com, you can go and check out our 2020. The preliminary lineup of people speaking is going to be out as early as next week. And so we're going to try and really hit the ground running because people really like it. We're going to tweak some things, and we're going to go from there. So, and then on the subject of education, DJ Think Tanks here in Chicago. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's a a private networking education group of maybe 45 members, something like that.
Right.
And they were supposed to have their show in New Orleans, and they ran into weather issues. So on Friday, they pulled the trigger to move it, and they rerouted everything to Chicago. And if you know any of the members of Think Tank, you got to tip your hat to these guys because they pulled it off, and everybody's smiling and having a good time. At least that's what I've seen on social media, because we all know that what happens in Think Tank stays in Think Tank. So they've shared some of their social things. So it looks like everybody's having a really good time, and hopefully they're learning a lot as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which leads us to Atlantic City next. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh well, wait, back up. You spoke twice this week, right?
I did, yeah. So what was it? Oh, there was another smaller think tank type of group with about 15 or 16 people, just like a meetup. And Mark Berneisen organized that up in upstate New York. And
right.
I mean, he has so much heart for wanting to develop that area in particular. And he does this I think 2 or 3 times a year. I mean, not maybe to this extent, maybe it's just a 1-day thing, but this is like a 3-day retreat. Right. So I just went up there for 1 day and gave a new talk. Again, I've I said I wasn't doing the tour of shows, but you know, he kind of twisted my arm, and I was like, you know what, for 15 people, this would give me a chance to kind of try some new material. And so gave it a try, and it was well received, and you know, it seemed like it was a good group of people that were there to learn. So I love seeing those small groups get up. Yep. And then the other one I was at was the New Jersey Disc Jockey Network. Sorry. And that has had a huge reboot in the last year or so. Mike Weeder is leading that group now.
Nice.
And I don't know, he's just, again, he's a guy who's got a lot of passion to see that stuff grow, and you can see there's some excitement. I think it was a little bit underattended than normal, just because
maybe July.
Well, that, and I think a lot of people are in that think tank group too that come from the Northeast, and so they were all kind of missing. Artem was the keynote speaker. He was the DJ Entertainer of the Year last year for DJ Times, and then I kind of contributed on his talk as kind of one of his surprise guests, if you will.
Oh, look at that! Yeah. He's got surprise guests now.
Yeah.
Very good. So, and then next is DJ Times, yes? DJ Expo?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. And are you going?
You know what? So your show, this is random. I had an actual 2-day event on a Monday, Tuesday.
Right.
I can't even remember the last Monday, Tuesday wedding.
Did you say it was a wedding, which made it even more unusual?
Yeah, so Monday was like a pre-party, and then Tuesday was a wedding. I think the only thing I could think of was that it was there people within the industry, so they're like photographers and stuff, and I think maybe they just wanted to do it in the week. But it was also like on that July 4th kind of carryover weekend.
Okay.
So I think that's probably why it was. Well, believe it or not, I have another Monday, Tuesday event that same DJ Expo
Really?
I mean, what are the chances that it lines up there? So I'm going to Orlando. So I won't be able to, I mean, I can make it on a Wednesday, but by then it's kind of like
it's kind of fizzling. Yeah, it is.
So I won't be able to make it out, unfortunately. Gotcha. Will you be there?
I will be there as an attendee. I love no booth, no anything. I'm just gonna go and chill. I love seeing everybody there and hanging out. And Jim Tremaine and Brian O'Connor and the Tested Communication peoples have always been very welcoming to me. And perhaps it's because I spoke for them for so many years and contributed to the magazine. But Brian's got 2 little kids, so I always ask about the kids. And Jim Tremaine's a huge baseball fan, even though he's a Mets fan, which is hurting this year. But we get to talk baseball. And so it's good. They've always been super welcoming. And that's a fun show. If you're into gear and you're watching this, it's definitely probably the biggest show floor in the country that's open to the public. So you definitely want to go and check it out, especially if you live in the tri-state area.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Daryl and I and one other guy are going to be actually driving out again. So
fantastic, man.
Yeah. So
road trips are always good.
Yeah. You know what? I usually, the last couple of years, I've been able to crash at like 5 o'clock at night, nap all the way to midnight, go to the office. He's getting back about 1 o'clock. We dump his gear. He jumps in my car, and I've got 6 hours sleep. And so he snores away. And then come like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning where I start to get the heebie-jeebies, he's usually getting his second wind. So a little bit of coffee in that, and we're good to go.
Right. That's awesome.
And my car, the passenger seat goes almost completely flat. So you can get a nice little cat nap in it. So it works out well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then what do we have? September.
Yeah, I'm wedding MBA.
Is that's first week of October, isn't it?
October. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So are you going?
No, another one I'm not going to be able to
make.
Really? Yeah.
Someone getting married on Tuesday again?
No. There's actually another show that's happening. It's not a DJ show. It's kind of like it's called. Gosh, now I'm drawing a blank on it, but it's in Spain actually, and I always do their after party randomly. It starts on the Sunday before wedding MBA and goes through Wednesday.
Okay,
so I'll be performing there. So no, I couldn't do that one. And to be honest with you, I wasn't planning on speaking anyways. And with the knot and the wedding wire being combined now into I think it's called Wedding World.
I think it's called Is it Wedding? No, the Not Worldwide is what I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's owned by Pitbull.
Yeah, yeah. So because of that, they're still figuring out what they're doing. So I had to just kind of jump on this other opportunity. And so doing that. So I won't be there. But I hear are you speaking at that show?
I am speaking. Yeah, no, I'm going and I'm speaking. Marquee will have a booth there, just letting people know that we exist, which is exciting. And then my good friend.
What are you speaking on?
It's like a Q&A, and it's really about it's about things that worked yesterday, things that used to work don't work today. And so it's going to be, I guess they're going to be asking people to submit questions ahead of time. And then those people will be in the room, and I'll research and hopefully get the answers that they're looking for. Right. So it's I almost feel like it's an improv thing, but I'll be given the questions in advance. And if nothing else, it may end up being an improv thing where it's a question and answer thing. But awesome. You know me, I come totally packed with statistics of all kinds to be able to answer some questions.
And is this the first time you've spoken there in a while? When was the last time you spoke?
No, I spoke last year. I've spoken the last 4 years in a row. So I think this is my 5th year.
And are you in the general track or the DJ track?
I'm in the general track now. I graduated last year, I think.
Okay.
And really what I mean by that is that the DJ track those classrooms hold what, like 400, 300, something like that.
Yeah.
This room holds like 800, something along those lines. But it's a general track type of a thing. Yeah. So, but I'm excited. I think Mike Walter's speaking again this year, or at least pending.
I saw that. Yeah.
I don't know who else is speaking, to be honest with you, and I think that'll be something that pops up on social media more September-ish. To see who's who and what's what. And David Tutera will be back again, so this will be his 3rd year speaking.
That's great.
So so he's a big draw. If you've ever seen the line, people wait like an hour in line to meet him. So he's a good dude, and I've become friends with him, so it's kind of nice. And then, what is that it for the year? Or do we have anything else?
Yeah, that's like from the show front. I think that's it. I mean, we're doing a little thing.
What are you doing, Brian? Tell us more.
Yeah. So it's not really a show. We're not kind of billing it like that. It's more like I don't know. It's like a meetup of DJs in the past
conference.
Boutique experience, I think, is probably a better thing, because it's not your traditional show format, which has all speakers and that kind of vibe. It's definitely not a DJ show. It's it's for DJs, but it's a lot of more hands-on. I don't know. It's harder to really define it exactly. It's just
what's it called, Brian?
Calling it the DJ Collective, which has been around for 2 years. And this is the first year we've opened it up to the public. So we have limited space because of the fact that the room is kind of small, and we like it like that. We kind of want it to be kind of one of these things that's, you get in, you see if you like it, and if you like it, great. And if you don't, you don't. But we've had 90% retention both years, even going into this year. So we feel like we've got something kind of special here. So myself, Joe Bunn, and Jason Janai, we're kind of like tag team in this thing, and we got 29 seats left. So if you're looking for something at the end of the year, it's a little different.
So what are the dates of it?
November 17th through the 21st. So Sunday through a Thursday. Right before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So if you're on the Northeast or Midwest before it gets cold, this is a good spot to be.
I agree.
I've never been to Scottsdale. It's a great.
I've never been.
Area.
I've only laid over there, flying from somewhere.
Yeah, town's really grown, and it's a good spot. By the way, we got some people on YouTube here saying, I just want to say hello to Jabran, One Love PT, Randy at Sound OB Session says, already bought in for Midwest DJs Live. I will try to make your show, Casey.
Nice,
Randy.
Nice. Thanks, Randy.
Yeah, and I think it's those that are active here on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's always nice to have some people interacting here.
Gotcha. And I'm going to look.
How are we doing elsewhere on the Facebook? Got some folks.
John's changed this whole thing around now that we're broadcasting on like 6 different channels. So I just looked on Marquee and I just got a thumbs up from somebody, but I didn't see who. And now I'm going to go to the Disc Jockey News Facebook page and see if we got more peeps on there, which would make sense because this is his network. So
yeah,
I was just curious. He's come up with, or he's discovered a new software that allows him to broadcast on like 4 or 5 different pages, and I know that I've given him permission to broadcast on ours. So, Donnie Lewis reminded me of something as well. Donnie Lewis and Owen from Ape Labs is doing the mobile DJ meetup in Allentown. This November. So nice. Thanks for the reminder, Donnie, because I think that Brian Scott Red's going to be there.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that the same one that he's promoting too? I think, that's awesome.
Yeah, they've got a nice little sub. I think, is Rachel Ray going to be part of that, or am I Rachel
Ray? I don't think she's cooking.
I know, probably not. No. She's going to be cooking. I forgot. Rachel Lynch. I don't know if she's part of that.
Yeah.
And I know they've got a bunch of people, so I'm glad that Donnie's tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, Donnie, and trust me, it's we didn't slight you. It just slipped our minds. So
that's great.
Yeah, no. See, and that's what you and I were talking about before. As much as we've now covered the year, it still amazes me that more DJs, they've got, now everybody's got the ability to go to stuff all over the country in all types of budgets. Because Midwest DJs Live is very affordable. I believe that Donnie's thing out east is very affordable.
Joining DJs.
Armed DJs is. Joining the New Jersey Disc Jockey Network is. Depending on where you live, joining the ADJA is, I think, if you have a local membership and the national, it's like $300, and you can go to 10 to 12 meetings. So if there's a chapter in your area, you've got constant education. And online, we've got Joe Budden's DJ Vault as well. And of course, on this network, you've got the Disc Jockey News Insider. So no one can say that there's not a plethora of education to make yourselves better. So every time I see the people that put down education in these group pages saying, I've been a DJ for 470 years and I've never had to read a book or watch a DVD or go to a conference, it just makes me wonder, like, how good is he or she? I mean, and why wouldn't you? I mean, I love my Chicago DJ brothers and sisters, and we had quite a few come out, but I know that in the 3rd largest city in the country, I would have loved to have seen a lot more of them come out, since we were in a suburban hotel with free parking. And even if they just came out to check out the gear, it would have been nice to see more people out and about. But I'm very grateful to everybody that came out and spent some time with us, and actually spent some money with the vendors, which is, helping fund all of these shows, because as everybody knows, if you're not buying anything, the vendors aren't going to support the shows and support the education. So, looks like John Young's going out there too. So Donnie just popped up again. I guess he's going out for, Donnie, do me a favor, post on the where you're posting, if you've got a link to an event or something. I don't know what it's called. Is it like a DJ meetup, or I don't know what it's called, but Lou Paris is going to be there. Michael Alvarez is going to be there. Donnie, Big Daddy, John Young, and I already said that. Brian Scott Red was going to be there. So go ahead and post, Donnie, so that people that are watching this can see. And I'm sure that if John's moderating this, he'll go ahead and he'll post it on the YouTube as well. Otherwise, you can go to Disc Jockey News' Facebook page and get it there. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, and those are just like the public meetups. I mean, there is so much now education online as well. And, for me, what's been one of my things that I've been putting out is a podcast episode every week. I've been putting out a podcast. I know Joe and Mike do their
the PhD.
In fact, they're not doing their show anymore. They've kind of they've ended that for now. I don't know if they'll resume.
I think they're just ending it for the summer, aren't they?
No.
Definitely.
The conference that they.
The conference, that they put on Post Mobile Beat,
Yeah, so that's kind of going away. No, the podcast is still live every week. They had a new episode out tomorrow. So, so I mean, that for me, that's been another way of learning and staying plugged in. And I'm really glad that they've continued it. But that's just another like avenue of education that people can get, that I think is brilliant strategy for those who are doing it, because that's just a way for people to listen in, and it's an easy way to pop in for 15, 20 minutes, get a nugget here and there, and go on with your day,
And of course, they can come right here to Distract You News Network. And John's got hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and years of video as well that's also stored on YouTube. So I'm sure that if you need it, you can find it here without question. And then John's always got fresh content coming up. I know he's kind of takes a little bit of a sabbatical in the summer so that he can spend more time with his family and such. So, I mean, the nerve of this guy, right? But come Labor Day, I'm sure that'll be in full swing. So, and if you want to see Brian and I, all you have to do is send John Young a check for $1,000 every week, made payable to John Young with 33% to Brian and 33% to me.
Yeah.
So
it's really simple.
It's fair. We're not greedy, right?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Not at all. Don Lewis jumped on and said that it's the Mobile DJ Meetup 2019, and he posted a link for the Facebook event page.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and then there's also the kind of, I guess you would call it, ancillary DJ orientated shows. Like LDI happens every November, and that is geared toward the lighting industry. That's out in Vegas. The IAPA show is happening, I think, end of October, beginning of November, and that's anything you see in an amusement park, and that's in Orlando. But if you're looking for cool new cocktail hour ideas or novelty ideas, you could do at corporate events or the newest, latest photo booth type stuff. So anything you see like in a Dave & Buster's, anything you see at a Prize Redemption Center, a mini golf, it's 5 miles, literally 5 miles of exhibits. It's positively mind scrambling to get into it. So if you go to that, your mind's going to be blown. You're going to want to open up an amusement park. So
absolutely,
yeah.
Man.
But I can only speak for myself. I started attending DJ shows, and I think it was 1989, and that's what gave me the courage to actually leave the company I was working for, because I knew I wanted to be a DJ for a living, or I knew I wanted to be self-employed, and I love DJing. And the company I was working for, I put in a pitch to go on salary, and they couldn't swing a salary. And so as a result of that, when I knew they couldn't pay me, I knew that I wanted to do this. So I started paying a lot more attention. And then there was a local DJ show. And then I jumped onto that, and then I left the company. And in 1992, by sheer coincidence, DJ Times came to Chicago, and I met Jeff Green and Andy Ebon and John Murphy and so many of the guys that have been doing it forever. And these guys all had companies. Like, these guys were all legit. And I was like, holy cow, like, you can make a living doing this. And that's what totally got me pumped. And then from that point forward, I was drinking from the fire hose. And then I was blessed enough to meet the right people, where I got invited to start doing panels and being on people's panels. And then DJ Times gave me the opportunity to speak on my own, and that's that. But I have to be honest, like, I enjoy sitting in the back of the room as much as I enjoy leading from the front. So
I agree. It's nice.
So it doesn't matter what level you're at, or how big or how small your business is, or how long you've been doing it. I think everyone's always got something to learn.
Yeah, no doubt. So
that's one of the reasons I love Wedding MBA, because it's different. It's a different thing. So and I'm looking forward to coming to Collective.
Yeah, I mean, I think people, are always looking for something that's, a little bit of new or fresh, and maybe we might be. I hope that we can deliver on something that's a little bit different than the status quo, and we'll see. We'll see if we can make it happen. So,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about where this industry is going as far as educational opportunities. Now, whether or not people take advantage of it, that's a different story. But there's no, like you said, shortage of those things for people to be able to jump on. And
Correct.
it's, there's no doubt that, like, as you are a great testament to, I mean, you marketed the heck out of the Marquee show, and I don't think anyone can say they didn't know about it. That's for sure. You know what I mean? So it's just now just getting the word out, and people, talking about it, the buzz, the people from those who attended, and seeing what they're learning from it. And,
listen, DJ Times is 27 years in. Mobile Beat is 23 years in. So, I mean, these guys have a long head start on me. But, Robbie Britton's built up his situation. So there's lots of great people out there doing it. And the biggest thing is this, just do it. Like Nike said, just go do it. If you can't afford one of the more higher price shows, like the DJ Collective's got a price tag on it. It's $2,000. Yeah. So if that's out of your budget, then get to Armed DJs. Get to your local DJ association. Like, if you have no budget and you're literally just starting, start following Disc Jockey News and start watching these videos and go from there. Mike Walter just jumped on. So listen to Mike Walter and Joe Bunn's podcast. It costs nothing. So, I mean, it's worth nothing. No, just kidding, Mike. But no, there's tons of great information on there. These guys, Mike's been doing it 25 years. Joe's been doing it 25 years. So you've got two industry veterans that you have tons and tons to learn from. And they've got great bantering. They've got great chemistry. So it works out well. So some might say that Mike Walter's a legend, which in his world means that he's old. So 32 years, Mike just said. 32 years.
In the industry?
That's apparently that, or he's talking about the leather pants that he used to wear, because we've got some interesting pictures of him from some of the DJ shows. But no, I mean, and these guys also have got, very cost-effective books, CDs, DVDs out there that, there's ways of getting it done. And it's a lot easier to me than it was when you and I were coming up. So
and we haven't even talked about, like, the YouTubers that are out there that are putting out content either. I mean, there's guys like DJ Bar and I'm gonna leave some people out, but DJ Mojo, who's done some stuff. And these guys aren't getting paid to do this. They're doing it because they want to give back. And I've heard more in the last couple months about the YouTubers that are putting stuff out, content that I had never heard of before, and they're freely sharing this stuff out there. So it's been cool to see that. I think there's going to be a shift. Like, I just recently put together a talk of my top 10 mistakes I've made in my career, which I'm not going to give away any of that stuff yet, but I will say this. One of them, I'll give you one teaser, is that in my career, there's been times when I've missed shifts in, not trends, but shifts in the industry, if you will.
Okay.
And I think right now we're at a crossroads as far as learning goes. I think it's kind of like the nightclub industry in a sense.
So are you finally giving up CDs? Is that what you're trying to tell everybody?
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly. I'm finally moving on. But like, if you look at the nightclub industry, the mega clubs had their season, right? They were big, and now you're seeing where it's bars and smaller, kind of concentrated type of environments. And I think the same thing's happening in the learning space. I think the days of the huge mega shows, even the huge industry shows that are not even niche, like the DJ world, they're all getting smaller and smaller. CES and all of these shows have kind of taken on more of a modified vibe instead of this huge, just like free for all. And I think that's cool. It's just going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. Like, who's going to be able to sustain the quality and keep it, or if they're going to have to morph due to what they have to work with. With the mega shows, you could really do a lot, but now it's all shifted to these small shows. So I'm kind of excited to see where that goes.
Things have changed, and I think that margins on gear have changed. And so I think there's a lot of stuff, but I still attend shows outside of the industry, and I don't see certain things changing. Now, I think, isn't Cater Source and Special Ed have merged, right? I think this is the first year they're coming together.
It will be, I think, this upcoming year. Yeah.
Okay, so come January, those merge. But look at the success of the guys from Digital DJ Tips. They have over 400,000 people following them on Facebook alone. And when I was looking at my insights page today, they had 27,000 post impressions in the last week. 27,000. I mean, it's just amazing. So people are definitely finding education online.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that what I was referring to was more or less the attended shows that physically you go to, not
Right.
the online content. And that's where the shift's, I think, happening. And so, you know, you've got to be thinking through experiential. You got to be thinking through, you know, what that almost like a call to want to go beyond just the content anymore. It's not,
Right.
It's not just that. It's interesting. Someone was talking to me. We were getting in a discussion about where the future of DJ entertainment's going.
Okay.
And we were talking through just the new technologies that's out there, like 5G, which I don't know how much you know about 5G, but it's really like shifting where like there's this huge fight in the political world right now, if you're not up on it, as far as who owns the technology, if you will,
Right.
of 5G.
Okay.
And basically it's just the speed at which things are going to happen, and it's way beyond what you have on your phone as far as download speed. So where the event industry is kind of going towards is more this AI vibe and things being done through, you know, virtual reality, where you can be having things flying into different things, you know, happening at the event. And where it could lead is where basically these events become all virtual.
Right.
And so literally, like you're sitting there podcasting in your underwear, you'll be able to DJ the same way as well, right? Or maybe you're not wearing anything at all. I don't know how you roll. But anyway, you will be able to do that. And imagine a world where that is, you know, accessible to get some of the best talent, not have to worry about the expenses of flying them in. You're
Sure.
able to add all these different elements. And now you've got people from around the world that are bringing this thing in there. So, I mean, that's just on the event side. When it comes to, so what are you missing out? You're missing out on that, you know, the physical touch, the actual, you know, taste of something, the smell of something, and some of those things are going to be missing. But the actual content itself, you can broadcast it anywhere. So how that affects the show world, it'd be interesting.
Right. Danny Lewis just jumped in saying he's only selling 100 tickets and keeping it small, like I think it's Midwest DJs Live, and lighting supposed to them. He loves the personality of these smaller, more networking-based events.
That's what I'm telling
and
you.
also,
Going in that direction.
DJ Barr will be speaking at the Mobile DJ meetup as well, and Joe Zahn will be on the decks. So
awesome.
There we go.
Awesome. There you go. I mean, like even them. I mean, they're thinking small, and I mean, it's
you know what? But
in
all fairness, like, listen, I'm not going to lie. I still have a dream of having a couple of thousand people in Chicago in July.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, I'm not going to stop until I get what I want, and I'm going to keep shifting and keep shifting and keep shifting and keep shifting until I get to where I want it to be. And and so that's not going to stop. So I just have to keep tweaking the formula. I think that these small 100-person events have their own flavor and their own personality, no differently than the local hardware store versus a Home Depot. And they both serve different customers. So it just depends on what you want and kind of going from there. I do think that you and I have talked offline about, you know, things that you're going to be doing with DJ Collective that I agree with, that, you know, like real-time social media. Again, for me, as I'm doing it, I just didn't have the time to assign somebody that specific task and everything. But we did have somebody going around interview style. One of my models, it's a reporter, and these videos will be up by Friday, where we interviewed all kinds of people to get a night so that attendees and non-attendees can see what the flavor of the show was, what the different people spoke about. So we did more of like an Entertainment Tonight type of interview with the presenters, with some of the presenters, and then we also did kind of like the local news around town segment to let the vendors talk about what was new and exciting or what their company was about, in case somebody hadn't heard of them. Like Floyd Rose is a great up-and-coming headphone company, but not every DJ in the world's heard of them before. So so that's all.
Right. The other podcaster I was thinking of was Rick Webb. He's another guy who's kind of doing a lot of big stuff out there, and in North Carolina, I think, is where he's at. So Yeah, it's just interesting. It'll be interesting to see how those guys kind of shift things as well. Like I just think that the industry is going to be going through some major changes in the next little bit.
Right.
If we're not looking for those shifts instead of just thinking that it's a trend, it'll be interesting.
Well, Robbie Savakis from Photo Booth Expo did say that he is indeed looking to add a DJ track to the Photo Booth show, which already has 4,200 people. And he told me that publicly. So I don't know if that's going to be for 2020 or 2021 or 2022, but he's already thinking down the road. And I'm sure 25% of his base is already a DJ out of the 4,200. So he's probably got 1,000 DJs attending anyway. Mm-hmm. So getting them to stick around a couple of days and learn in that is smart business. Not to mention, if he adds a DJ track, he might be able to put another 400 or 500 DJs in there. So, and then that's going to happen 2 weeks before Mobile Beat. So the question is, will it be a new audience? Will it be a crossover audience where people are going to 2 shows 2 weeks apart? Will one, outdo the other? I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see, like you said, the future of shows.
Yeah, definitely. And then I think it's right around the corner quicker than we even realized. Like the next 2 or 3 years are going to be interesting to see, who survives, how it changes, how it morphs and takes place. I mean, I'm glad that there's opportunities for people to be able to get plugged in and learn, because when I started, it wasn't that way. You know what I mean? Like they didn't even have YouTube. Right. So I was, having to learn from guys that I just knew and trusted, and that was it. And some DVDs, that was it. Yeah. So,
I hear you.
It's cool that this stuff's all available now, and you can get plugged in even easier than before. So,
right.
I know we're probably preaching to the choir here, because the people who are checking this out are people who are already kind of invested in that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Hopefully we've turned a few people into checking. Did you just go sideways? You just went sideways. Well, you're sideways on my monitor. I don't know why. So maybe John's touching something back of house.
No,
he should be poking his head in.
He's fine here.
He's fine. Okay. Now your logo's up. So are you going to join us, John?
I can. I've been sitting here listening intently.
Right. Intently? Really? Intently?
Look I've even been double listening. So I've been listening I've been watching too.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So would you say that we've been pretty much on the money so far?
I think so. I think you missed the most incredible, fascinating speaker at Marquee this year. You didn't talk about him.
I mentioned Nick Spinelli's name. What are you talking about? Just ask him. He'll tell you he was the best speaker there. No, for those of you who know, John did not 1 but 2, and I know that at least one of them is available on somewhere on his Disc Jockey News Facebook page.
Yep.
Where he talked about the power of what we're doing right now, going live and podcasting and such, so that if you wanted to create your own, how to plan parties type of thing, he's giving you the tools to create your own studio, so to speak.
And I thought that was kind of cool too, that you guys did at Marquee. Like, I mean, even though John's been in the game a while, I mean, he doesn't speak at very many shows. I mean, you had some fresh talent with Jeff Scott Gold and the SCE guys out there. Like, I'm excited about, like, there was a little time I was a little worried about what would come in the future as far as DJ speakers, because we were kind of slim on the bench, if you will. Right. And to see over the last year, it's good.
I think we're going to find the bench is definitely going to be replacing some of the current starters. I think that we're going to see Nick Nelson speaking a lot. I think we're going to see Nick Spinelli speaking more. Jeffrey Scott Gold hit it out of the park. And I know that Big Daddy's definitely pushing his farm team, so to speak. So we'll see what ends up happening.
Jordan Marshall's, on the kind of newer on the scene, but I mean, it's just cool to see a fresh crop of people out there on the speaking circuit, even if they've been in the game a while. Like, John, like, that's awesome. I mean, I'm so stoked that you actually like shared some of that stuff that isn't getting out there. You know what I mean? And podcasting, like I mentioned, is such a cool medium. And for you to spend some time talking about how to do it correctly and some of the tips and techniques, I mean, that's only going to help elevate the industry. So, and it's something that's a medium that's a very attainable one for people, not something that, you got to spend a crazy amount. I mean, sure, you can spend a good amount of money on things, but it's something that's the future. I mean, I for sure see it, you know? So I'm hoping that a lot of these shows, So, and you had a lot of that technology kind of involved in all of the sessions. I mean, you were having Jeff speak about, you know, the
we had him talk about media, and we had a lot of different stuff. And then next year, truthfully, I think we're only keeping like 3 presenters, and it'll all be fresh as well. So so it's exciting.
Which is good.
Yep,
it keeps people on their toes, and you know, as long as you've delivered, I think that's the street cred that you need to be able to keep going. And that's, you know, always going to be the challenge for new people kind of rising up in the show world, is just being able to build your tribe, you know? So the more you can do that, the better. So I'm pretty pumped about what next year could bring, you know?
And there was one little tip that I picked up while sitting in the audience at Marquee show. So for those of you who wonder if it's worth going, so the time and effort we get over there, and that one little tip that I picked up from, Jeffrey Craig there.
Jeffrey Craig Saver,
he shared one little thing, and I actually implemented that on 2 of my calls this week for weddings. I had a busy week already with some calls and emails, but 2 of the calls, and I implemented that little tip he gave, and both of them ended up with additional, so it became like a $600 upsell for both of those events. Wasn't anything huge, but it was $600 of money that I wouldn't have thought of asking for or talking about. And it's like, ooh, this is really kind of cool. And it worked really well. So,
you know what that means, Brian? We should be expecting a check. 300 to you, 300 to me. John can't tell us he doesn't have. Yeah, how did he just disappear on me? All of a sudden, his picture went away.
Actually,
well, once again, I mean, a speaker that is not somebody who's speaking at every show, who has total street cred, who's done it, he's made it, you know, and for him to share his knowledge, I mean, that's just awesome.
$20+ million a year. So quite the interesting, and so it's exciting. It's very exciting. And to think, I knew he was only doing like 4 million. So you know,
then to think now that you got, you know, Wedding Wire and the Knot combining forces. I mean, I don't know what that education platform, but they've got one now. It's called the Wedding Pro. That's their new B2B, if you will, network. And so I think the power of that being combined, I mean, it can't be a bad thing. I think you're going to get the best of the best from each of them kind of joining forces here. So it'll be interesting to see where that network goes too. You know, they're putting out, I mean, their combined shows, I think they've got 13 or 14 workshops around the country in these different markets. So, and a lot of the DJs industry is finally getting represented there. You're getting like, I know I'm speaking at 2 of them just to kind of, you know, give some help in the DJ side of things, but Jason Jana has done it. We've had Dan Quinn, who's done some things for them. So it's really cool to see that the DJ has a place in these national shows and not just a sidekick, that just an add-on, you know?
Sure. Sure.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, hopefully we were able to help out people there and give them a menu of things to consider, you know, as we close out the year.
And then we'll come back for our Christmas show, right? Another 6 months?
Yeah, another 6 months.
I mean, I don't know why John keeps taking the highest rated show on Disc Jockey News off the air, but I don't know if like we pop on and off like Jay Leno or what the story is.
It's the reunion. It's the Friends reunion show. You know what I mean?
It's going to be huge. Look at these hands. Huge.
It's just like I Love Lucy. You get to see it once a year.
Exactly.
It's going to be like that, John.
Exactly, man. Good stuff. Well, it's always good to catch up with you, KC. And man, I hope to see you sooner rather than later. Hopefully, at one of these other shows.
Yeah, I'm not going to see probably Wedding MBA.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And John, thanks for always doing your thing and contributing to the industry like you do. It's so good.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and sharing tonight. It was fun to hear you guys talking back and forth. Well, it's fun to hear you, Brian. KC maybe not so much.
And we didn't get into any real riffs yet.
No. I didn't have to bleep anything, so I'm pretty happy about tonight's show. So anyway, we're gonna wrap it up now. Before
we haven't even talked about how the Cubs have won 5 out of their last 6.
Yeah, we're not talking baseball right now because the Mets, who have been like horrible, have beat our Twins here. So yeah, we're not talking baseball.
Your Twins, you guys both are in states, cities, whatever. Twins and Mets are. I mean, Twins and the the Dodgers are looking really good this year. So
yeah. Well, we do have a bet going on, don't we, Casey? Don't you remember our bet?
I thought it was whoever weighs more on the scale. I thought this was an easy one for me.
No. It was who would go further in the National League, the Cubs or the Dodgers. So I think I'm looking pretty good right now.
I think we're going to both see postseason, and that's the crazy part about postseason. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, the last one's standing. So. All right, guys, thank you very much, gentlemen.
All right,
everyone. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good evening. Good night, everybody.
Thanks. Bye-bye.